Last week in biology, we began studying evolution, which is the changes of characteristics in organisms over a long period of time. And although the timeline we studied was very vast, millions of years, thousands of generations, I began to think much more short term, particularly my generation, me, and the one before mine, my parents. What kind of traits, what kind of DNA, what kind of genes did they give me that consists of my makeup? And I thought that would be a good basis to introduce myself. So let's start with my dad. He grew up in a farm in Nebraska. The field work made him big and strong. He grew up to be 6 foot, and the discipline made his demeanor a little bit harder. Now, on the flip side, we have my mom, who's 5'1", barely over 100 pounds, and grew up in a more urban setting. Her demeanor is a little bit softer. She's a little bit quieter, like to keep to herself, mind her own business, that type of person. And so growing up, I would have loved to inherit my dad's genes. Playing baseball for 14 years, I would have been more appealing to scouts with my size, and I would have been much more intimidating to opponents also. But it didn't work out like that. Instead, I got my mom's genes. And so growing up, I knew I was a little more introverted. I was smaller, and instead of going outside and getting wrecked by the older kids in backyard football, I would rather sit in my room, play by myself, read, write, just mind my own business. And through middle school and high school, a lot of things changed, but that particular quality never did. Um, I still love to read. I still love to write. I actually was the editor-in-chief of my school newspaper for 2 years. And so those same qualities that I had as a kid still are within me today. However, one thing my dad did teach me was, his drive. He taught me that in order to be the greatest at what I do, I have to work to better myself every single day, In order to throw myself at this dream of being a writer, a journalist, I actually have to work for it. I have to go do it. And so, our outlooks, our hobbies, our attitudes may change over time, but when it all comes down to it, we're the same kids we were, at the very start. We're still the same traits, the same genes, the same DNA that our parents gave us. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It makes everyone different. It makes me different from everyone else, and it makes me me. So thanks for listening.